Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's your boy E-Man. Falcons Fandemic, we on that plan. All the hype in the city, let me break it down. Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown. Cruising down Peachtree in my Falcons gear. Pockets on the speakers, E-Man's here. Covering the news, all the buzz on the block. Fandemic family, yeah, we can't be stopped, yeah.
Falcon fans, Fandemic family, welcome back to Atlanta Falcons Fandemic. Guys, we are going to talk about the Ian Cunningham press conference today. It went about just about how we expected, I think. But the NFL season, guys, is officially in high gear. And if the off season is in high gear. And if you haven't already felt the heat yet, guys, you certainly will in a few days. We are currently right in the thick of the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. And with the franchise tag window having opened on February the 17th, teams are scrambling to sign their franchise players. The front office is working overtime to shape this roster. Today, like I said, we're going to dive right into the headlines following General Manager Ian Cunningham's recent press conference. While a few of his updates left us feeling like business as usual, he definitely dropped a couple of bombshells that caught us off guard. You know, from the definitive word on Kirk Cousins not being here in the future to the decision to pull the trigger on Kyle Pitts' franchise tag. In that move, guys, he's signaled a new era in Atlanta. General Manager Ian Cunningham took to the podium Tuesday at the NFL Scouting Combine to outline a transformation of the Falcons roster and leadership philosophy. You know, from veteran departures to strategic tagging, we're going to try to break down today's major announcements and what that means for the Falcons going into the future. So the Atlanta Falcons are entering a period of total transformation at the quarterback position. And I have a feeling, guys, that the Kirk Cousins move is just the beginning. And it's not going to end there. But the headline of the day was the confirmation that the Falcons will move on and release quarterback Kirk Cousins on March the 11th, the first day of the new league year. The decision to release Cousins ends in a complicated 2-year tenure here in Atlanta. Very complicated 2 years. But when asked about the logic behind the move, Cunningham emphasized that the decision was made out of respect for Cousins, allowing him and his agent Mike McCartney clarity heading into the free agency. In other words, you're free to go talk to whoever you want to talk to, with no ties back to Atlanta. Now, what's significant about the timing is by releasing him on day one, the Falcons avoid a massive financial trigger. If Cousins remained on the roster just 2 days longer than, let's just say March the 13th, a $67.9 million vesting guarantee for the 2027 season would have locked in. So that would actually be more than what we already owe him. So anyway, the financial impact of this, by designating him as a post-June 1 cut, the Falcons will spread that significant dead cap hit over 2 seasons, $22.5 million in 2026 and $12.5 million in 2027. So Ian Cunningham has already come in and made this contract a little bit more manageable, right? Even though we still owe him a lot of money, it's just a little bit more manageable and allow us to make moves to continue building this team. So that clean break from that General Manager Ian Cunningham spoke of, he stated clearly we won't be re-signing Kirk, shutting the door on any possibility of him returning on a cheaper veteran deal. So the future now looks like this. With Kirk Cousins departing and Michael Penix Jr. recovering from an ACL injury, the Falcons are officially transitioning the franchise to Penix while searching for a veteran depth to fill the room. But not so fast, guys, not so fast. Because there have been recent reports that the Falcons would not be looking for a bridge quarterback or a veteran to bring in. You know, with Kirk Cousins' confirmed release on March 11th, attention has shifted to Michael Penix Jr., and current reports suggest his future in Atlanta is far from secure. So this clearly showed that the Falcons are not all in on a complete recovery for Michael Penix Jr. It's either that or they're concerned about the fact that his limited time under center. And of course, Kevin Stefanski's system is built on his quarterback being under center. So that means that Atlanta is concerned about his development. But while Penix was long considered the heir apparent to the throne, his status as the guaranteed starter for 2026 is now serious doubt. And several factors have created a perfect storm that could lead the Falcons to move on from him as well. And trust me, guys, this is no clickbait. This is actually articles out there that are saying that Atlanta could move on from Penix with these factors in mind. The medical red flags. Penix is currently rehabbing his third career torn ACL that he suffered back in November. This injury history dating back to his college days has led to internal concerns about his long-term durability, right? Although he had the best doctor to repair his leg, and reports showing that he's going to recover fully, there are still some concerns about long-term durability. And when you label a guy your franchise player or franchise quarterback in Michael Penix's case, you expect for him to be here long-term, right? Then there's the performance questions. There are reports that suggest that the new regime led by Cunningham and head coach Kevin Stefanski is less admirable with Penix than the front office did that drafted him. So they don't look at him with the same eyes that Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris did. But analysts like Louis Riddick have noted that Penix's development has fallen under question. And I just spoke about that. That Matt Ryan or Kevin Stefanski is concerned, or even Ian Cunningham is concerned about his development under center. Neither Cunningham nor Stefanski were part of the group that selected Penix overall, but history shows that new GMs and coaches often prefer to handpick their guy rather than inherit a previous administration project. And guys, let's not just let this be a surprise to you, because we talked about this several times early on before Ian Cunningham and even before Raheem Morris got and Terry Fontenot got relieved of their duties. We talked about the possibility of a new general manager or a new head coach coming in and actually moving on from the guys that we love here in Atlanta, right? Guys that we think that should be here that could actually won't be here. So, I mean, all we can do now is hope for the best with the decision that Ian Cunningham is making. So what could be next for Atlanta? Well, the Falcons decide, if they decide to move on from Penix, and after the move, they moved on from Cousins, they would likely be the most aggressive team in 2026 in the quarterback market. So, I mean, it's going to be quite a few of them available out there. It's going to be a matter of which quarterback will fit that Kevin Stefanski's system. So who could replace him? But if the Falcons, excuse me, one of the fan favorites that his name has come about was Joe Flacco, who's a veteran who knows Stefanski's system already, who actually performed very well in it. But he could serve as a bridge starter for 2026. But Ian Cunningham stated that they won't be bringing in a bridge guy. So Joe Flacco, is he a scratch? I don't know. You're talking about a guy that knows the system already and actually was very productive in it. The next guy was Geno Smith. Currently with the Raiders, Smith has been floated as a potential trade target to stabilize the Falcons' offense under Stefanski. Again, another bridge guy, another great journey guy. But like I said, Ian Cunningham spoke of this, and he said he's not doing it. Now, one guy that does fit the mold, and his name had actually floated to the top for some reason, was Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent is the backup over in Chicago, where Ian Cunningham came from. So Ian Cunningham actually had a hand in bringing in Tyson Bagent to Chicago. So he might be the guy that sells Atlanta on him. So rumors suggest that the Falcons could trade a mid-round pick to the Bears for Bagent to provide competition. But will it be competition? he may be the day one starter. It all depends on how fast or how well Michael Penix Jr. heals, right? Will he be ready day one, right? So, but another name that has come up was Malik Willis. What are the odds of Green Bay moving on from Malik Willis as a backup? I mean, you talk about Malik, he's a great game manager and he's a great veteran. But again, the Falcons have said that they would not bring in a bridge guy. But hey, when you find yourself in situations, you may have to go back and and go back on your word and make that move. There also looks into the draft. With a high draft pick and a need for a fresh start, Atlanta could look to the 2026 NFL draft or a high-profile trade to find a quarterback that fits Stefanski's specific offensive system. I don't see Atlanta going this route, specifically because of what we talked about, what Ian Cunningham talked about as far as this wide receiver room, and we will get into that. Also, what we need up front on the defensive line as far as the D tackle. So there are other needs, pressing needs that Atlanta needs to address. And I think wide receiver room is a one of the rooms that's more pressing than going for another young quarterback, right? But bottom line, guys, the Falcons quarterback room is currently bare on bodies and experience. But while Penix remains the only quarterback under contract for 2026, the lack of public commitment from the front office suggests his time in Atlanta could be as short-lived as Cousins. All right. Another topic that we talked about, Ian Cunningham spoke of, was retaining Kyle Pitts. He placed that franchise tag on Kyle Pitts. A lot of us already knew that this part was coming. And this is basically just to buy Atlanta time. But Cunningham also confirmed that the team will use the franchise tag on Kyle Pitts. And this is only the fourth time that the franchise tag has only been used in Atlanta Falcons history. But after this 2025 season where Pitts recorded, 88 catches for nearly 1,000 yards, the front office viewed him as too valuable to just let walk, right? The tag served as a mechanism to keep him under team control, while they negotiated long-term extension. So the financial impact is Pitts will play the 2026 season on a fully guaranteed one-year deal at approximately $16.3 million. And the strategy behind tagging Pitts, the number one reason I think is because Pitts' agent wants top three money. And top three will put him up there with George Kittle, Trey McBride, Travis Kelce. And truth be told, I just don't know about that. But Cunningham noted that this gives the new staff, specifically head coach Kevin Stefanski, more time to evaluate how Pitts fits into their tight end friendly offensive scheme. And everyone knows that Kevin Stefanski loves to run a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, which requires dual tight ends. But Ian Cunningham also provided updates as we move on to talk about other points in the press conference, updates on veteran players like Kaden Elliss and Darnell Mooney as the team navigates this roster evaluation process. I actually hated the fact that Kaden Elliss is in this bubble, right? I didn't want Kaden Elliss to be a second thought. I thought he would be a sure sign. But Ian Cunningham was non-committal regarding a potential return for veteran linebacker who is set to become a free agent in 2026. He stated that I won't get into that. This is what Ian Cunningham said. He stated that he won't get into that. I feel like Kaden, he's a free agent. I will see how that goes forward in moving forward. Market factor concerning Kaden Elliss, Cunningham noted that the front office is currently evaluating the linebacker market as a whole, which he described as having a lot of linebackers. Now, that could be mean one of two things. Either he's planning on moving on from Kaden Elliss, or he's addressing the depth that we needed at linebacker. We all saw what happened when J.D. Bertrand got called up and Divine Diablo went down, and it just didn't look good. We didn't have a lot of depth at the linebacker spot. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at it like this. I'm going to say that Kaden Elliss will be re-signed, and he's addressing the depth that we need. But the cap constraint that he's about surrounding Kaden Elliss, Ian Cunningham emphasized that any decision on Elliss would depend heavily on the Falcons' specific cap situation overall. But he did say that there will be a ceiling on what they offer Kaden. So it is going to be a matter of what Kaden Elliss is going to be willing to settle for. So I'm thinking Kaden Elliss will be here, to be honest with you. I hope he doesn't fall into the same scenario of what Nate Lamon did, move on someplace else and become a factor with them. Kaden Elliss and Devon Diablo, I thought, was the backbone of this defense. They carried this defense. They were the captain of this defense, and they communicated well with this defense. So hopefully it won't get disrupted, and Jeff Ulbrich will be able to retain Kaden Elliss and make him the captain of this defense. As we move on to the next player with Darnell Mooney as the wide receiver, while Cunningham identified the wide receiver position as a premium group, he was similarly brief regarding Mooney's future in Atlanta. He said that it was an ongoing discussion. He noted that Mooney's status is another thing that we're working through right now. There won't be an imminent decision when it comes to Mooney, but Cunningham did inform the media that the team expects to reach a final decision on Mooney's future shortly. I just don't know if Mooney has, for the money, he may become expendable. But in both cases, Cunningham's comments reflect his intentional approach to roster building, prioritizing carefully evaluation over every single player. So, guys, this team may just look a little different than 2025. It may look a whole lot different. Like we said earlier, this new regime coming in, a lot of the GMs, when they take over a team, a lot of the head coaches, when they take over a team, they typically come in and want to put their own, let's just say, own stink on it, so to speak. But a lot of the draft picks that we thought that would be a sure end to be long term, this regime just may move on from a lot of these guys. And also, it all depends on how they what they want to use as a core to rebuild, right? And that's typically what we are. We're in the rebuilding stage. And we spoke about this, guy. So this is no surprise. And this is typically what happens when you get rid of the GM, get rid of the head coach, and the coaching staff that follows them. So so this is no surprise. What's going to be surprising if we lose a lot more players than we thought we were going to lose, right? Moving on to the next topic, Ian Cunningham spoke about his relationship with Matt Ryan. He spoke about it being dynamic, being one of the most unique aspects of the new front office. And it's a new presence for him, right? So not all teams have a president of football. But Cunningham spoke glowingly about having Matty Ice in the building every day. To have someone like Matt who has seen it all from the pocket and the locker room is an invaluable resource. He said he's constantly picking his brain, especially as we head into the draft process. He understands the makeup of a winning player in this city. And he also said that, well, Cunningham will have to report to Matt Ryan. And the two have focused on building a smart, tough, and physical culture that aligns with the Dirty Bird era they both grew up watching and or playing in. So Matt Ryan is going to be instrumental in this draft process. I can assure you one thing, what happened, like with that Kyle Pitts pick, or shall I say the Michael Penix pick, that would not happen again with Matt Ryan in the building. But there is one thing that I would like to address. I don't know a lot about this third pick that we're supposed to get into the 2 third-round draft picks we were supposed to get because we took a general manager from another team. It is called the Rooney Rule. That's a mouthful right there. It's and it sparked a debate between Atlanta and Ian's former team, the Chicago Bears. The rule is when a team loses a minority executive to a general manager or head coach position, they typically receive 2 third-round compensatory picks, one in the current year, one in the next. But the snag is the NFL has been hesitant to award these picks to the Bears because Cunningham reports to Matt Ryan. The league wording requires the hire to be the primary football executive. But Cunningham was direct. He said that I'm the general manager. I was hired. It was my interpretation that the Bears should receive those picks. I'm going to have to do some more research on that one. So stand by on that one, guys. Let me do some research on that one to find out what exactly that means. It's the Rooney move, Rooney rule. So I'm going to have to do some research on that to see who benefits from that. Because that sounded a little bit confusing as who gets the pick. Does Atlanta get the pick or do the Bears get the pick? So let's do some research on that one. I'll get back with you guys on that one. But when Ian was asked about specific roster roles, Cunningham highlighted the need of a dynamic slot receiver to complement Drake London and Kyle Pitts. He wants shifty players who can win underneath and create easy throws for the quarterback. Perhaps most refreshingly, Cunningham addressed his old school approach to information gathering. He firmly stated that he does not use social media to make decisions. But one thing for sure, they do watch it. They do watch social media. So, but he said his philosophy is he believes in the eyes and the tape. While fans make glamour on Twitter, Cunningham values the internal scouting process and the intentionality of his staff over the noise of the digital world. So one thing for sure, guys, they may not use content to form their decisions, but you can best believe that they watch the content to get views, right? They want the viewpoints from different people. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of the decision that Ian Cunningham and Kevin Stefanski make that aligns with a lot of the content creators, a lot of the analysts that's covering these moves, covering the draft. We're going to see how much that aligns with them, and we'll see whether or not their decision was swayed one way or the other. But guys, huge thanks for riding with me today. Wasn't a whole lot to cover, but a couple of surprise points that were made out in the press conference. But if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you guys, the real ones. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single beat. For more coverage, follow the Atlanta Falcons Fandemic on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, continue to rise up. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your boy E-Man, Falcons Fandemic. We on that plan, all the hype in the city, let me break it down. Atlanta Falcons, wear the crown.